We are about to take a visit down memory lane. We'll be time travelers, all of us. Me, Nostrovini, is going to take you to the times when I was that guy back there, a comedian, a young comedian in the 80s, a would-be comedian. Because I wouldn't be a comedian, I didn't reach my full potential. But I want to evaluate, not too harshly now, my performances of the 80s. This is the cream de la crumb of Vinnie Gotchuk's comedy of the 80s. Or, oh, Nostrovini. Ooh, my goodness. I'm forgetting my true persona, or my present persona. Anyway, let's see. This, go back. We're going back in time to a time in New York in the mid-1980s when Ed Koch was the mayor, when crime run rampant. Not but not too rampant. It was actually kind of mellow. It was sort of like the 70s were the rough part, wasn't it? The 80s were like kind of nice in a certain way. Anyway, here we go. You know, I had to move out of my mother's house because she was overprotective. See, I had to get my own place because whenever I was going in, my mother would say, well, where you going? And I would say, well, I'm going to 23rd Street. And she says, you know, that's a very bad area. With my mother, there were no good areas. There was our house and bad areas. And it didn't matter where I was going in the city. It was in close proximity to Harlem. I would test Harlem. I would say, Mom, I'm going to 23rd Street. You know, that's right near Harlem. 42nd Street. That's right next to Harlem. 58th Street. Harlem! My mother thought that Harlem was on wheels and that there were 12,000 black guys having to be pushing it to wherever I happened to be going in the city. You know, Vinny's going to 23rd Street tonight. He's going to be pretty surprised when he gets to 23rd Street in Harlem standing there. Let's get this shit moving. Fun thing is that the Lower East Side during the 80s was not the kind of place that could put on airs and being a safe place in the city. It had, in fact, I would say that somewhere in Harlem, somebody was saying, Alfonso, where are you going out tonight? Well, I'm going to 23rd Street. No, the Lower East Side. You know, that's a very bad area. Yeah, the Lower East Side calling Harlem a dangerous place. It was sort of like the Ayatollah Khomeini calling Gaddafi a crazy Arab or Muslim dictator. I know now that there's a difference between Persian and an Arab. At that time, I did not know. No, I was half-assed in my comedy, not enough research. Now, lest you think that we were prejudiced back then because we were afraid of Harlem. Well, Harlem was a rough place back then. Oh, yes, oh, yes. Oh, yes. Although I never really truly went to Harlem in the 80s because of the physical power. Anyway, let's get back to subjects. Another thing about comedy was our single scene. Once I had gotten to my own place, I, of course, went out to to get l'amour from the ladies. Yes, the ladies. And we didn't have it easy back then. Us men and of my ilk. Back then, you couldn't just look at your phone and send your genitalia through the air and advertising who you are. No, a face and a crotch would not do. You went to a bar and you had to find a woman who had an alcoholic problem and belie her with drinks. Yes, and women would complain, and men we were hunters, hunting the streets for the ladies. Of course, women had their own thing. They would say there are no men. No men. In fact, you could be hanging out with them. They said there was the great man extinction of the 1980s, you thought. You would say, there are no men. Well, and you'd be right next to them, you'd be hanging out with them under the guise of trying to be their friend, but secretly thinking that you could maybe make it with them. See, back then, we had no concept, no horror of the thing called the friend zone. No, we didn't know about the friend zone back then. No. If only somebody had warned us and warned you. Yes, a time traveler. Yeah, many people say, well, what would you do if you could go back in time and warn the people of the dangers? Would you kill Hitler? Would you prevent World War I by preventing the Archduke's assassination in 1914? No, 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 no. Not me. I would go back and say, beware, my fellow man, beware, beware, beware the friend zone. A strange place where you could be right next to a woman who you share so much with, conversation, humor. Yes, never, never to taste love, primal love. Oh, maybe the platonic love, but not the non-platonic love. Yes, that's what I would do. I remember those days. I would be with friends, female friends, and they would go, there are no men. There's nothing out there. There's nothing out there at all. I mean, there are no men. I mean, no quality men. I would be going about. I mean, all I meet are creeps and jerks, they would say. And I would think to myself, what am I? A creep or a jerk? I think of the two, I'd rather be a creep. See, a creep is a man who's made it with a woman. He has to get involved with you in order to do all those creepy things. Well, a jerk is a guy who wants to do creepy things, but he's too much of a jerk to bring it off. Man with no clothes sense, no sense of style, no way to make himself appear dangerous, merely ineffective. Of course, then you have your losers. Those are men, those are creep jerks. Men who actually have no talent in terms of getting the ladies. Perhaps they're not aesthetically pleasing. I don't know. Then there are your nice guys. They're nice guys. In the friend zone they are. The limbo. Oh, nice guys aren't losers. They just feel like losers. Those are my two acts. Actually, I have bigger ones. This is just a tentative experiment. See how much I can remember of my old acts as my brain slowly turns to mush my elderly age. Anyway, this was no Stefani. With his classy voice, which he appears to be a man of distinction, education, class. This is classy Vinny. Classy Vinny. Maybe I should make a different persona. Old classy Vinny. Yes, classy Vinny. I don't know. Anyway, with my hair and see how this looks on the internet. Shut it off. Goodbye. I have to look at that camera. Keep on looking down. My friends are criticizing me, and I'm such a fragile flower to be criticized. Where's the sport of this? Where is the supportiveness of my friends? The old time gang is ganging upon me. La 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 bye.